Hello, Cheapskaters. I'm Kath Armstrong, creator of the Cheapskates Club, where our goal is to live life debt-free, cashed up, and laughing. If this is your first time visiting our channel, welcome. We're really glad to see you. And if it's not, welcome back. I'm really glad to see you back. Now, I'm going to try and keep this short tonight. I'm a bit under the weather, so bear with me because I'm a bit even more addlepated than usual. But if you have a question, please post it in capital letters so it stands out in the live chat. The chat just flies by really, really quickly. And not only that, but the view that I actually get to see is very small. And so it's really easy for me to miss a question. And I'd really, really hate for you to think that I'm ignoring you, because I'm not. So let's get started so we can get on to other things. First of all, I noticed so many comments already, so many people. Hello, Kerry, dinner finished, dishes in the dishwasher, cuppa ready. I have mine too. Hello, Give Me South. Yes, Joy, you might have to get a cuppa. Hello, Delaney. Hello, Wild Woman. Hello, Karen Herring. Karen says, are we all set for a month of living off what we have? We certainly are. I've got a story to tell you about that in a moment. It'll make you laugh. Hello, Aradia. Glennis, nice to see you. Hello, Michelle Smith. Oh, yes, Karen's traveling. I remember traveling. And she has, do you know what? Karen's traveling. Karen and her husband are traveling, but they have the added problem of not being able to carry fresh fruit and vegetables across borders because of a fruit fly outbreak. So that's an extra little thing. Just goes to show that crisis, problems, disasters, whatever you want to call them, prop up all the time. Doesn't have to be something major. It can just be one little thing, although this is probably major to the people that are suffering from fruit fly. But one little thing can completely throw you off track. That's why we're doing this challenge. Delaney. 301 Jules, hello. Hello, Beverly. Hello, Yvonne. Hello, Sylvia. Hello, Tegan. Hello, Jenny and Trish and Mrs. Dilligaff. Catnaps, I love that name. I've been having a few of them the last few days. Hello, Catherine, Frugal Fun Mum, Kathy Dean. Hello, Veronica and Lois. My, we've got a lot of people on tonight. And Jane. Hope Jane stocked up her Tim Tams for the challenge. Yutta. I got it right. Oh, I hope so. And Amy, okay. Well, just before we get into talking about the challenge, you'll just slap your face like, oh God, how could she do that? Anyway, I call this show When Life Gives You Lemons. Now, usually the saying is, when life gives you lemons, make lemonade. Well, you can. But last week on Friday, I was gifted a bag of lemons. Not just a little bag, but a big bag of lemons. And I was like, because I'd already said no, we couldn't accept or we couldn't use what we were given during the challenge. So came in on Friday. Nice big bag of lemons. So you know that I am never going to say no to free food. Even if it's something that we don't like or we wouldn't eat or I can't use it, I will never say no to free food or clothes or furniture or whatever, because I can always share it with someone. I can always give it to another family. I can make something with it to share with others. I don't have to keep it for myself. I just have to accept it and use it. And whether I use it for us or for someone else, it's not being wasted and I'm still using it. So I never say no. Anyway, life gave me a bag of lemons and sort of slotted in quite nicely because my freezer stocks of lemon juice and lemon zest were actually running low. So this bag of lemons, there were like 23 or something, nice, decent sized lemons. They've been a real blessing. So what do you do when life gives you lemons? Well, first off, I made a batch of lemon butter. Now I just used the 6-minute microwave recipe because it's quick, it's really simple. It uses the whole egg, so I'm not using yolks and having to do something with the whites. And it's really versatile. We love lemon butter. Even Miss Hannah, who is not a fan of lemon, likes lemon butter. Now, because it has eggs in it, it shouldn't be canned. It shouldn't be water bathed or it shouldn't be pressure canned. Now, yes, I know that we buy lemon butter, commercial lemon butter that has eggs in it, or it used to, I don't know if it still does. But that whole commercial canning process is very different to what we can do in our homes. So, eggs, dairy, flour, they're big no-nos in canning. So you need to, I usually do a small batch at a time, a single batch at a time, because it really is that quick, and keep it in the fridge. Now, it will keep in the fridge for 3-4 weeks if you don't eat it out, but you can freeze it. Put it into the jars, put the lids on, pop them in the freezer. It freezes, folks. So if you're worried about not being able to get through your couple of jars that one recipe makes in time, freeze a jar. It's easy. If you like lemon, you will love this lemon butter. It really is good. It's delicious on scones. It's really nice on pikelets, but it sort of comes into its own in lemon tarts and lemon meringue pie, which just happens to be Wayne's favourite dessert. So when I have lemon butter, I will make him a lemon meringue pie. Now, they can be juiced, but before they're juiced, I zest them. I always get the grater out and run them over the zester and capture that zest. It is amazing stuff. It adds flavour, it adds aroma to your food, and it freezes too. Now, I use lemon zest in cakes and biscuits. I use it to flavour rice. I use it to flavour icing. I will add it to cold water, sprinkle it over the top of a glass of cold water. Add it to salt with pepper. If you dehydrate it, which you can dehydrate lemon zest. You can dehydrate it and then add it to salt with some ground black pepper for lemon pepper. Why buy it when you can make it? You can moo your lemon pepper. I use it for juice, obviously, to make stir-fry sauce, to make the lemon sauce for lemon chicken, to make lemon syrup cake, which just happens to be, one of my favourites. Lemon muffins, and one of my inventions, it's not a wacky one, it's a real one, is whole lemon cake. Now that's my take on whole orange cake, and I've got 2 versions of the whole orange cake recipe in the cakes recipe file. One is the original recipe, and one is I've adapted it to make it healthier, slightly healthier, but it's no less tasty or delicious, and it works. So there's 2 versions of the whole orange cake on our website. It's really good. I just swap out the orange with a lemon. Makes lemon cake. It's so good. It's got just the hint of lemon flavour in it. It's not bitter at all. It's really, really good. Lemon tea is warming on a cold day, especially if you add a little grated ginger. It's rather nice. And of course, we all know hot lemon and honey for sore throats, treating a head cold. What else? Now, because I've got the heater going, we've finally lit the wood fire. I have taken advantage of that. I do all winter long. Why waste good energy? And I sliced 2 lemons with the mandolin, and I put them on a cake rack, and they're on the top of the fire to dry. The house smells really, really good. I love the smell of lemon. It makes everything smell so fresh. Another thing is orange and lemon marmalade. Now, I do the microwave marmalade. It's easy, guys. If you worry about making jam or making marmalade, try the microwave versions. They are quick, they're easy, and it means you can do a small batch in half an hour or so. It doesn't take long, and there's not a huge big mess in the kitchen to clean up. You don't have to stand over the stove and stir and stir and stir. So check out those. And by the time I got through that list, or get through that list, that bag of lemons will be put to very good use. If I had a real excess of lemons, I'd make lemon cordial. The recipe's in the drinks recipe file, but it's really simple and really, really refreshing. But we don't drink a lot of cordial. We drink mostly water in our house. I drink tea, Wayne will have coffee. Occasionally someone will have a glass of milk, or in summer mostly where we might have an iced coffee, and we use Joy's iced coffee syrup in it. But no, we don't, so we don't drink a lot of cordial. So 1 or 2 jars will do us easily for the year. So cordial's sort of at the bottom of the list of my uses for lemons when I get a lot. And finally, so there is absolutely no waste. Like we do with oranges and the orange peel, put it into a jar and fill it up with vinegar and let it steep for a few weeks, strain it and use it for cleaning. I used to, when I played piano, because my piano teacher made me, squeeze the lemons. If we squeezed the lemons, we'd have the lemon halves, the cups, and we had to put them on our elbows and sit with them on our elbows for 5 minutes to keep our elbows white and soft, so that when we were playing, I don't know, it was just something that Miss Hall made us do. And it was a good thing to do, but it kept our elbows, so we were playing. I don't do that so much anymore. I do hand cream on my elbows these days. So when life gives you lemons, you put them to good use. You don't let them shrivel up in the fruit bowl or mold in the fridge. You put them to good use. I just wanted to share that with you because I thought, oh my goodness, we're coming into citrus season, and winter is citrus time. So lemons, limes, mandarins, grapefruit, oranges are all going to start coming, and they'll be cheap if you've got to buy them. If you've got trees, the trees will start to be loaded. Thinking of ways to use them can sometimes be tricky. So I thought I'd run through how I use lemons. Yeah, because, when life gives me lemons, I smile. No big deal. I love them. Now, finish that for you. And I did say I won't keep you very long. I'm going to try to not keep you very long. But I'm sure that you're all waiting to catch up with our 1-month pantry test challenge. Live off what we have. Don't eat or consume anything we buy. And of course, today is the first day. Started at 12:01 a.m. this morning. And, I can say we rocked the first day. Not a problem. We ate out of our pantry the first day today. Muffins with cheese for breakfast. We used up some rolls with some salad veg for lunch. I had chicken and the boys had the rolls. I had chicken soup and the boys had the rolls for lunch. And of course, tonight we had spag bowl and the pasta sauce was in the freezer. So we rocked it in. And I used the cleaners that we had on hand too to do the bathrooms and the laundry. I did 2 loads of laundry today because it was a glorious day here in Melbourne. Oh my goodness, it was warm. The sun was just shining. Did you notice the sky today? It was so blue. Well, in Melbourne anyway. If you're in Queensland, it was probably grey. I'm thinking of you. But the sky was so blue. I just love the way the sky changes colour with the seasons. You think blue is blue, but each season has a different shade of blue. You know, in summer the sky is really bright and vibrant, and in winter it can be quite a darkish blue. Then in spring it's almost washed out. Just beautiful. Today it was gorgeous. Anyway, get to my funny story. I woke up this morning and I was all enthusiastic because I was set. And then I was getting out of bed. As I was getting out of bed, I went, oh no. I almost groaned out loud. I was like, oh no. I'd meant to get some puff pastry before the challenge started. And of course, because I don't buy pastry very often, I completely forgot. I was like so annoyed with myself. I was like, oh, how stupid are you? You just forgot that puff pastry. And then I just went, how stupid are you? You can make pastry. It's easy to make pastry. The ingredients are in the pantry. So if we need pastry, I can make it, because I was really only going to buy the puff pastry as a backup just in case. Look, it really only takes a few minutes to make a good pastry, and the recipe I use is Easy Pastry. It's from the Mixers recipe file. It was given to me, I think before we were married, by Wayne's auntie, and it is so easy, so easy, and it rolls out beautifully, and you can make it incredibly thin, which is really good because I like thin pastry for tarts and quiches. I don't like thick doughy pastry for tarts and quiches. So it's really easy. Now I did buy an extra bottle of fresh milk and an extra bag of potatoes over the weekend. And yesterday I went on an egg hunt. You know that kid's book, We're Going on a Bear Hunt? Well, I went on an egg hunt. Oh my goodness, what a chore it was just to buy eggs. We needed them, and I would have been buying them this week when we went shopping anyway. But I ended up having to go to 2 Aldi stores, a Coles and Costco, and none of them had eggs. None of them had any eggs or any fresh eggs at all. Not a one. I finally found them at Woolworths. Now I have to go out of my way to go to Woolworths, so it's sort of really annoying, but I was desperate for eggs. So I went, and I wanted to get them before the challenge started because we use a lot of eggs. But anyway, I ended up at Woolies, and they only had 3 dozen on the shelf. That was it, 3 dozen. So I bought the 3 dozen. You snooze, you lose. You wanted eggs at Woolies yesterday? I had them. Too bad, because we use a lot of eggs. I like eggs because they're versatile. They're a cheap source of protein. And when meat is getting so expensive, they make a really economical meal. And so that was my face slap moment, forgetting the pastry, then realizing I didn't really need to buy it anyway. And I'm thinking that we might find a lot of things over the next month that we would normally have as a backup or buy just to keep on the shelf just in case, that we might realize that we don't actually need, that we can do without, or we can make it ourselves. Another thing I did over the weekend was switch around the freezers. Now that's not such an easy job because we've got freezers all over the place, But what I did was I looked at the meal plan for the next month, and I sort of worked out what I'd need from the freezers. Then I just moved it around. I took it all out of the big freezer and put it all into the little freezer over the fridge. Found some things in the little freezer in the fridge that I could use. So I made some breadcrumbs and some pita chips, and I turned some tortillas into tortilla chips because I've got haystacks on the menu, but I didn't have corn chips. So that worked well. So they went into the oven while I was cooking yesterday and dried, and they're all in the pantry now ready for us. So we've got snacks to eat, which is really good. And that meant that by doing that, now there's a little bit of room in the big freezer. Not a lot, but more than there was. Nothing was wasted. And it means that I've got everything, all the main things that we'll be using for this month in one spot. And I use the whiteboard on the front of the freezer door to write, how much mince there is, how much fish, how much the corned beef, the chicken, whatever. I've found some stewing steaks, so I've thrown that into the meal plan, that sort of thing. So it's all there, so I know, and I can mark off as we use it and see exactly how much we use over the month. I can't wait to see if I actually empty that freezer so that it is, because it's quite full at the moment, because it's just the little one on top of the fridge, quite full at the moment. I'd really like to see how empty it is in a month if we actually use what I think we're going to. It also means that, if I buy anything, it can go into the big freezer and I won't be using it because I won't need to go into that big freezer for anything. And that brings me to a couple of comments that have been made, which is all good. I love to read your comments. This isn't a stupid pantry challenge. It's not going to cause anyone distress. It's not pointless. It's not a waste of your resources, and it's not going to eat down your pantry and leave it bare, with you then at the end of the month having to restock the whole pantry in one hit. That's not what, you can do that. By all means, do that if you want to, but you don't have to. Remember, we've got one rule for this challenge, and that was use only what is in your pantry at 12:01 a.m. on Tuesday, the 10th of May, for 1 month. So I didn't say don't replace what you use. I didn't say if there's a really good deal, don't get it. Of course you can. You can replace what you use if you want to. Just don't use it until after the challenge is over. Keep it separate from your current pantry. Leave it in the car boot. Leave it, stash it in the spare room, or pile it up in the lounge room so you can see. That'll give you a good idea of what you actually buy too. Just don't put it in the pantry and use it until after the challenge is over, because the aim of this challenge is to see if our pantries will really sustain us for at least a month, as they are right now without top-ups. Now, this is something that everyone needs to know for sure, whether you're a cheapskater, spendthrift, Calathumpian, whatever. Everyone needs to know this for sure, because we may think that our pantries will do that. We may know for sure that we have enough meat and chicken and butter and cheese and baked beans to last us a month. But if you can't buy bread, you'll need to make it. So do you have enough flour and yeast to make as much bread as you need for the month. If you can't buy fresh milk, you'll need to use powdered milk or UHT milk or tinned milk. Do you have enough of those in your pantry to last your household a month? This is what we're going to learn. This is the information that is going to be a game changer for us as we plan our pantries, as we build our pantries. You know, we need to know just how many carrots and onions we really use in a month. We need to know how long the fresh fruit will last, and if there's enough tinned or dried fruit to stretch it out for the month. We need to know how long the garden will feed us if we're relying on it every single day to provide something for us, whether it's a few lettuce leaves or some silver beet or some spring onions or chives. This information is important. No, actually, it's vital. This is vital information. I was talking to Hannah earlier, and she was saying about food prices going up. The tea that we buy has gone up $1.50. $1.50 a box. Doesn't sound much on one box. Over a few boxes, over a year, that adds up. And we were told, I was watching news reports, as I do, and you know, the big thing is food prices going up. Now, the latest report's an average of 12% on basic grocery items this year alone. Now, we all know that that is a very conservative figure. It's a very modest estimate. Because if you've been shopping lately, you will know that tin tomatoes have gone from 79 cents to 99 cents. Cheese has gone from $7.69 to $8.79. Those are big jumps, and they are on things that most households buy regularly. So we need accuracy in our pantry stockpile. We need accuracy so that we can fill our pantries with confidence, knowing that they are going to keep us fed 3 meals a day for however long we want it, or however long we want to be able to live off our pantry in a crisis. Now, we're doing this for a month. It was suggested last week that we might do it for 3 months, and I love that idea, and I'm thinking seriously about how we can do that. Now, I know from past experience, from past personal experience, that a year is the bare minimum for us, for anything, be it bicarb soda, toothpaste, flour, whatever. That's the bare minimum for us. That might work for you, it might not. So you decide how long you think you need to live off your pantry. Because it just makes sense to keep your pantry stocked to that level. Now, honestly, this living, day to day, buying a little bit here and a little bit there, that's a very new habit. That's not something that households have been doing for hundreds of years. Maybe 60, 70 years at the most before supermarkets became the big in thing. We had the corner store, and you would go and you would buy your meat every day or so because households didn't have refrigerators or freezers. But their basics were bought in bulk and kept in bulk. Before that, most kitchens, they stocked shelf-stable foods, and often it was what they dehydrated or bottled or smoked themselves, because smoking is a way of preserving food. And they only bought, what they needed that was in season. So the in-season fruit, the in-season vegetables that they needed, the ones they didn't grow. because even city homes had some sort of a small garden, and 99.9% of those homes grew some of their food. So we need to know this information so that we can get our pantries built to our comfort level, our comfort point, where we can be confident that we will survive for however long it is. If we couldn't leave our home, if we couldn't get anything delivered, if we couldn't swap with neighbours or friends or colleagues. So it's not too late to join. Just start now. Just jump right in and live off what you have in the pantry right now. So no running to the shops and getting something else. Just what you've got now. Live off that. See how creative you become when you run out of milk, when you run out of fresh veggies. Practice your bread making and get it perfect. Make really good scones. Learn how to do flatbreads. They are so simple. I was watching a video today, and this woman is quite an accomplished cook. She had never made naan. Oh my goodness, it is so easy. It's literally flour and yogurt, plain yogurt. It's the simplest thing to make. Naan is simple. Hannah's been making naan since she was about 10. Get out the yogurt thermos and make a couple of batches. Try a new cake or biscuit recipe. Try a new savoury recipe and make notes. Lots and lots of notes. Record what you use each day and how you use it. Whether it was a success, whether people liked it, whether it was a lot of work, because we don't want this to be too time consuming for a few reasons. Mostly, in this modern world we live in 2022, none of us have a lot of spare time. So we don't want anything we do to be so time consuming that we can't get out of the kitchen. But also, if it was to be in a true grid down end of the world as we know it, shell grits hit the fan, zombie apocalypse type situation, we would need to conserve our energy. So we wouldn't want to be using our energy doing a lot of cooking and a lot of thinking about cooking. So record what you use each day, how you used it. Make notes of the things that worked and things that didn't work. And then at the end of the month, you are going to have the most valuable record of, how you can live for a month of your pantry. You will have it there in black and white, whether it's in hard form or on your tablet or laptop or whatever. You will have that record there. And from that record, you can work on getting your pantry to where you want it to be. You can create preserving plans. You can come up with meal plans that just use pantry items. You can be confident that you can do it. Now, you don't have to, you don't have to be a die-hard prepper to do any of this. I don't think, I keep saying I am not a prepper. I don't like the connotation that goes with the prepper. I am a preparer. I like to prepare. I like to be a little bit ahead if I can be. So I'm really looking forward to, at the end of the month, seeing how we go. It's going to be interesting. I've already had grumbles from, Thomas's, but what about our pizzas? Well, we always make pizza bases anyway, and we've got the pizza sauce made. So it's going to be restricted to what we've got in the freezer. Now there's I've frozen some roast chicken so they can have barbecue chicken pizzas. They can have margarita pizzas because we've got pizza sauce and oregano and cheese. They can have margaritas. they will survive without having to go and buy salami or whatever. They will survive. I did warn them last week that there would be, what was in the house at midnight last night was it. So if they want their soft drink, well, they've missed out if they haven't already bought it. They're not allowed to buy anymore and bring it into the house and use it. I'm going to be really tough with them too, because we need to work on this as a family. Because in an emergency situation, we would need to work as a family to survive. So, all right, I'm going to have a quick look for questions. Remember, I asked to put them in capitals, and while I'm searching for questions, if you like tonight's video, thumbs up, please. It's in the thing below me there. I'd really appreciate that. Thumbs up, and if you're not already subscribed, hit the subscribe button and then the bell. That just means that you'll be notified every time we upload a new video. And of course, once you're subscribed, you're in the running to win the Sunbeam Food Science dehydrator that I have waiting to go to a new home. Kerry ordered and paid for her seeds. And they will be delivered this week. Seeds, guys, seeds. I think we need to do a couple of videos on seed saving, don't we? Seeds are something that we should have. If you're a gardener, seeds are something that we should learn to save, but we should have a stockpile of them too, because not only are they getting more and more expensive to buy, some of them are getting quite hard to get too. Alrighty, now I saw something else just here. Hello, Carol. Carol's looking forward to the challenge, and Trina. Hello, Julie. I'm so glad you had a lovely time in Adelaide. Yes, Joy. Butterfly cakes. Oh, I forgot butterfly cakes. Yep. Lemon butter is really good in butterfly cakes. English muffins are really easy to make. Really, really easy to make, Kerry. Simple. These are all things that we have been convinced. We've been brainwashed into thinking we can't do this. Well, someone had to do it at home first before it became a factory-produced item. So it's easy enough to do. Alrighty. Oh, Trina mixes her lemon butter with yogurt. Yum, yum. The mock lemon butter recipe, I don't know whether it's on my blog or in the recipe file, Joy. It's I think in recipe books today they call it lemon pie filling. It's slightly different. It's a bit like in my school recipe book, my recipe book from school, I have a lemon meringue recipe which uses the mock lemon butter that's made with the corn flour and that as the pie filling. Oh, there's lots of, look, see, we've got Tegan says homemade limoncello for Christmas presents. Jane slices them up and puts them in fish. Never making grapefruit marmalade again. Massive bitter mess. Wonder why it was bitter. So grapefruit, I think, needs to be soaked. I know some marmalades tell you to slice the fruit and soak it for 24 hours, changing the water twice. I'm not sure whether that would help or not. All right. Fermented fire cider, coming into the weather for fire cider too. Hello, Maureen. Alrighty, sorry guys, I'm still looking for questions. See, Delaney used leftover cream in pasta sauce tonight. I was making, did I make, honey mustard chicken. Honey mustard? Yeah, honey mustard chicken for dinner last night. And I scraped out that I actually started to scrape out, and then I decided that was a waste of time. So I put a little bit of milk in the sour cream container and swished it around and tipped that in to make the honey mustard chicken. That was really good. I often do things like that. Yes, Maureen, Elaine's Easy Pastry. It really is easy. It's a really good pastry, very versatile. Okay. It's raining in Bundaberg. Okay, guys, stay dry. It does not look good. Kerry's got to ration the eggs. No eggs. I didn't notice the milk. I did notice that I was stunned at the meat prices. I always say that. The mince is still $9.99 a kilo, and skin off chicken breast, Steggles skin off chicken breast fillets were $8.99 a kilo, which isn't too bad. But oh my goodness, even the pork, and pork has been cheap for the last 3-4 years. Even the pork was expensive yesterday at Costco. I was stunned. So, all right, I'm looking for. All right, sorry. There you go, Julie. There's an answer Annabelle's got for you. Quail. Quail are very, very quiet. They're little tiny cheeps, but they do have little tiny eggs. So, yes, if you're not subscribed to Appalachia's Homestead, Batara has some really good advice for raising chickens. In fact, I think her video today was water glassing eggs, which is would be really, really handy to be able to do that. So they preserve. Karen's raised a good point. If you need to take medication, get it. Yes. Yeah, don't stop your meds. If you can get it ahead, get it ahead. If you can't, you can't. While you are doing that, though, ask your doctor what would happen if you couldn't get to a doctor, you couldn't get to a pharmacy, if the pharmacies were closed, if the doctor was closed, if they weren't there. Tell him what you're doing and ask him. My doctor just rolled his eyes because he's quite used to me saying these things and doing these things. I'm like, oh, no, it's a wonder I'm still out. I should be in a padded cell, according to him. But anyway, do that. Try and find out what you would need to do, what alternatives there are for you if that happens. All right. Okay. I can't see that anything's freezing up, Trina. All right. Okay. Price of diesel is outrageous. Diesel, the excise on diesel wasn't cut. The excise on ULP was cut. So diesel has stayed quite high, and it's gone up again. It's well over $2 a litre here again, which is sort of really annoying. But anyway, that's what happens, I suppose. But that also means that while everyone was cheering and saying, well done on cutting the excise on ULP, prices should start to come down. No, they won't, because the diesel hasn't come down, which means it costs more to transport from the farm to the factory, from the factory to the store, or the distribution centre, from the distribution centre to the store. Those are all costs that we, the consumers, wear. I've got this, you can't see my mouth, but anyway, it's just ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And now our dollar has fallen under 70 cents US. Ouch. That was very sad news. But anyway, it's the way of the world. So, Tegan, salami is actually really easy to make. Really easy to make. It's just a matter of knowing your spices, keeping everything really, really cold, keeping everything really, really clean, and knowing your spices. It's easy to make, though. All right. All righty. Sorry. Hello, Barb. Hope you're feeling well. Okay. Goodness me. I haven't seen lettuce for $5. Broccoli was $7.50 a kilo. Lettuce, cauliflowers are about $3, I think. So, and I've not seen ever seen a collie for $9, but not saying it doesn't happen. This time of year in Melbourne, they are pretty normal prices. Last year, the year before, broccoli was $7, $8, $9 a kilo. Broccoli was very expensive. It's easy to grow, folks, and it keeps growing. If you keep picking it, it will keep growing. So they're pretty normal prices. I don't worry so much about the prices of produce. I do worry about things that are staples that shouldn't fluctuate like that. So your flour, your sugar, peanut butter, those sorts of things should not be fluctuating like that. But your fresh produce, the fruits, the veggies, those sorts of things do, especially if you want out of season. Oh, we are so spoiled. We have tomatoes in July. Tomatoes aren't seasonal in Victoria in July. You're in Queensland, July is tomato time. You're in Victoria, it's not tomato time. So you are going to pay more for them because they've got a long way to come. Buying your fruit and vegetables in season. Apples for autumn. Autumn is apple time. Autumn and into early winter, apple time. That's when apples should be their cheapest. If you're buying them out of those times, out of autumn, early winter, you're buying them out of season, and it's going to cost you more. Buy in season. Grow. Eat what you grow. If you can grow it, that's what you should be buying. And if you don't have a garden, find out what grows in your zone in each time of the year, and that's what you're buying. You don't have to grow it, but you'll know what to buy because it's in season. We're so spoilt with having, strawberries in the middle of winter, and it's just ridiculous. About the only thing I can think of that has never been available out of season, cherries. About the only thing I can think of that's not available, they're not available out of season, are cherries. Everything else we have access to all year round, and that is wrong. That's why it's one of the reasons why it's expensive. We're really spoilt. It also means that we don't actually eat as well as we should, because we just get used to eating the same stuff over and over and over. We're not getting the variety that we need in our diet. Can't be that long ago. We've been married 33 years, and we had the milkman coming to us up until 1995, 96. That's what, 20 years ago? 06, 25 years ago, yeah. So it's not that long ago, really. I know a couple of times they've tried to bring back milkmen. People just don't get it. They don't get the convenience of having a bottle of milk on your doorstep every third day. Twice a week, get the milk delivered. It's wonderful. Trina's going to do a complete no spend month, make to amend. Okay, well, I done some socks the other day, so my start. Can't wait to see how you go. It'll be really, really good. Okie dokie. I can't read that. Corn tortillas, yum. Haybox style cooking would be really, really convenient. And you know what? It's not difficult to do. If you have a large casserole dish and a smaller casserole dish that will fit inside it, you can create your own haybox just with that. You don't need to do too much else. We might need to do a video on that too. And in fact, there are quite a few serving type dishes that will work as haybox cookers too. The other thing that's popped up today and had me thinking, because I have the wood heater and I really enjoy it, was an oven to go on the wood heater. Now there are tin box things that will sit on the wood heater or sit over a barbecue or whatever. And I thought, oh, that's a good idea. Bake a cake or whatever. Well, they didn't get very good reviews, but the upshot was a camp oven or a Dutch oven will do the same thing. And that was another, seriously, what are you thinking of? Because that's how I cook. That's how I bake when we're away. We set the camp oven up, and just for ease while we're away, I usually buy the disposable foil cake tins, the oblong ones or the round ones, and use those to bake cakes. Make a really good sultana cake in the camp oven in one of those, just over the coals. Like, there you go. I'm already set for that. So the gas goes out, the power goes out, we've got wood, we have fire, we can still make a cake. Congratulations, Julie. I hope you enjoy your retirement. I hope you have a lovely, lovely time. You will be busy. people that retire think they're going to retire and, enjoy life. It's not going to help. Kerry, wheat grinders are available here in Australia. If Carol's still listening, I can't remember the brand that she has. And there's an attachment that fits to a KitchenAid mixer that will act as a grinder, and it's had very good reviews. It obviously only does small amounts at a time. You need to be careful with it, but it works too. And there's hand grinders. Maybe we need to do a video about kitchen appliances that work without power too, because that's something else that I've been collecting the last few years, last 10 or 11 years, is every now and then an appliance to replace an electric appliance. Now, most of them go in the camper for when we're away, but they are also very handy to have in the house if the power goes out. Okay. Here we go. Pureed roast pumpkin makes a delicious pizza sauce, especially if you don't use cheese for any reason. Very good to know. I love roast pumpkin. It's got to be properly roasted though, so it has time to caramelize. Otherwise, it's just watery glue. But it's so good. Do enjoy roast pumpkin. Don't know about that, Ali, but I like to be prepared. Don't like being caught out. Not fond of surprises, as in, big shock surprises. Don't mind present surprises, but yes, I would like a freeze dryer too, but I cannot justify it. I would have to get an awful lot of use out of it and be able to use it to make that money back fairly quickly, because it's not just the $8,000 for the freeze dryer. You've got the ongoing costs, or if you get the one with the pump that doesn't need the oil replacing all the time, that's an extra expense too. But I don't know why isn't there a bright spark here in Australia that can make freeze dryers here? I mean, the technology is there. Why can it not be made here? Why can we not buy pressure canners that are Australian made? Because our pressure cooker company sold out. Moringa. Moringa should, you should be able to take strikes from those. Don't worry. If you're worrying, stop worrying. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. That's why we prepare. Okay. So, personally, I don't think we're at the beginning of another Great Depression. I do think our world is changing, and it is going to change quite radically, very, very quickly. So the next 6 to 12 months, while on the surface, our lives may not appear to be changed that much, you look back over the last 2 years and how much they have changed. What we are doing now that we wouldn't have dreamt of doing 2 years ago, or 18 months ago, or 12 months ago. Things like, for me, because I was a once-a-year shopper, guys. I've been a once-a-year shopper for a long time. I loved once-a-year shopping. like grocery shopping. It's a chore. I don't like doing it. But June, July 2020, during our first big lockdown, I started to think and start to look ahead and see that things that I would buy at the end of the year to restock our pantry might not be available. And if they were going to be expensive. So I switched back to monthly shopping, which didn't last long because then I went to weekly, and it was weekly top-ups of what we use. I would, if we used it, I replaced it straight away. And I've kept doing that. I still don't like shopping. But what I have noticed the last 3-4 weeks is I have to go to more shops to get what I want. So whereas I used to just go to Aldi and that would be it, and then I would hit the butcher, and then I'd hit the greengrocer, and the shopping was done. Now I'm doing Aldi, Coles. Like I said for yesterday, for eggs, 2 Aldis, a Coles and a Woolworths and Costco before I could get eggs. I don't like running around. I don't like having to do that. It takes time. It costs in fuel. It saps my energy. Shopping wipes me out. It's not, shopping to me is a chore. It's not a hobby. It's not a recreational activity. It is a chore. So that has changed. And that, for me, that's a big change. That's a radical change. I've had to change the way I, plan things too. So that's just one of the changes. And then we have things like, we still have quite a few pandemic restrictions in place. Sure, we don't have to wear masks anymore, and we can pretty easily cross borders, but there's still a lot of those pandemic restrictions in place. Hospital visiting, nursing home visiting, lots of workplaces still have quite stringent pandemic restrictions in place. International travel, there's a lot of things, a lot of our freedoms have gone. So they're all subtle, and they're all little, and they're all hidden away in there. So yeah, I think our way of life has changed drastically. It's going to change even more, and I don't think we'll ever get back to what it was. But we can still do good things with our time, with our energy, with our money. We don't need to be scared about it. Sorry, I took over. That was just my take on things. See, lots of people. I remember back to, I was laughing yesterday because a news poll thing came out, and I've gone, seriously, guys, who do they ask me for 30 years? I did once get asked a question for a news poll, and I was thinking, back in the 90s, we had interest rates were, 18%. I've told you before, we had friends paying 21% on their mortgage. 21% on their mortgage. They could barely afford to, they ate very, very carefully. They could barely afford. She used to walk to work because it just cost too much to drive the car. And that's back when petrol was around 57 cents a litre. So that was a hard time. And then we had the GFC. That was in the 1990s, 92, 93, 94, 95, around that area. Then we had early 2000s. Then we had GFC hit. And depends on how you look at it, but due to good management or mismanagement, Australia rode out the GFC reasonably well on the surface. We're paying for it now. So that's why I say on the surface, it looked good. Dig deeper, it's not so good. So we've had tough times before. We can get through them. We have the knowledge, we have the ability, we have the skills, and if we don't, we have the knowledge and ability to learn the skills that we need to survive them. But if you're really worried, the biggest thing you need to do is get out of debt. Because if you have no debt, then there is nothing that you can lose. All right. All righty. Krista, if you're the only one in your family, you do what you can with what you have. Every little bit helps. Every little bit helps. The boys were laughing at me. Must have been Sunday because it's Mother's Day, because I said to them, you can't laugh at me on Mother's Day because Mother's Day is my day. It's Be Nice to Mum Day. And they were laughing at me. Can't remember what I did. And it was eye roll, and here she goes again off on one of another wacky things. And I just said to her, yeah, but hey, guys, seriously think about how your life hasn't changed. Pandemic hit, people were out of work, prices have gone up. Your lifestyle, your level of lifestyle hasn't actually changed. We've been able, thanks to Mum's wacky ideas, to get through it. So every little bit helps, Krista. Just do it on your own if you have to. There's quite a few cheapskaters that prepare on their own. They use what they have and build what they can, and they just keep it to themselves, and then when it's needed, they can bring it out. It's disheartening sometimes when you don't feel supported, but come over here, we'll support you because we know what it's like. We always say, keep your pantry to yourself. It is private. It's not for public consumption. But isn't it fun? If we could all be in the same padded cell, what a party that would be. Could you imagine it? What a party it would be if we were all in the same padded cell. The noise level, they'd let us out just to get the noise level down. But so I know when I get together with Joy or Maureen or Wendy, or I chat to Annabelle, or the noise level just rises and rises. I chat to Jane often, and it's really good, and we swap ideas. It's fun. Kerry's another one. If we were all in the same room, it would be worse than the rooster in the hen house. It would just be so noisy. Right. Sorry, guys. Here, Trish, what does Trish say? Adapted lemon peel idea for the fire and used orange peel. Oh, it does. Yes. Orange, lemon. Grapefruit would be good. Mandarin is nice. Any citrus, because it releases the oil, and the oil is what holds the fragrance. It's just beautiful. Just beautiful. And you know what? In winter, when you've got the house locked up, as we do, because nobody wants cold breezes coming through, but you want the house to be fresh, that really helps freshen it up. No chemicals involved. Now I just hit the wrong button and it's gone. Oh dear. Try not to worry too much on possible world events. Spectrum Survival says, daily do your chores, do your prep and play. Play being important to the balance of the stress in our daily lives. Yes, it is. And as I say, if anything that you hear on our channel worries you, scares you, stresses you, take a step back and ask yourself why. Because then you can do something about it rather than just stewing on it. So if it turns out that you think you're not going to have enough toothpaste, then, oh my goodness, I'm so worried because we won't have enough toothpaste to last, till the end of time. We can step back and you go, okay, so I need X amount of toothpaste and it's on sale this week, so I can get 2. And you can start from there. You've got a plan in place. Much less stressful if you have a plan in place. Kerry, great news. So Kerry's, we had this conversation too. And her doctor says if she can't get her meds, to cut them in half, to stretch it out. Good to know. Or scary to know. Think about that. You're not crazy for, look, we do pantry challenges. Bike riders do mountain challenges, or, mountain climbers do mountain climbing challenges, or, swimmers do swimming the English Channel challenges. They all test themselves in some way that, I think anyone that tries to ride a bicycle up Mount Buller is nuts. Seriously nuts. But if that's what they want to do, they can do it. They might think that I'm seriously nuts because I like to build the pantry. To each their own. It's just that I have the reassurance that, when the shell grit hits the fan, we can eat. They can ride their bike up Mount Buller, but there's no food at the top. So, different things. Don't worry about it. Everyone challenges themselves in different ways. All right. Okay. Kerry, I'd walk away too. That cannot be. Those prices can't be justified. They can't be justified. They will try to justify them, but they cannot be justified because those prices are not going back to the farmer. Third run of canned meat for the day. Well done, Trina. Amy's still getting tomatoes off bushes. Amy, if I leave the tomatoes in, and look after them, I can often still be picking the odd one or two in the middle of July. I think last year, the year before, I know some years I've just let them go all year until it's time to put the new ones in. Yeah, see, I won't buy imported fruit and vegetables. I won't buy imported eggs. I won't buy imported salad greens. We grow all those things here. I won't buy them if they come from overseas. I know that at one stage we were importing eggs from New Zealand while egg farmers in New South Wales were destroying their eggs because the egg board wouldn't buy them. That to me is, I don't care which government is in power. It could be Liberal, Labor, Greens. I don't care which government is in power. That is wrong. If we can grow something here, if we can produce something here, if we can manufacture something here, it should not be cheaper to import it. We should put our own first. So I won't buy them. Lemons, you see them all the time in the supermarket, lemons and mandarins from the USA. I won't buy them. No offense to any of our American viewers, but by the same token, I wouldn't expect them, if they were in season in their country, to buy Australian products. It should not be cheaper. It should not be. It is wrong. Make me Prime Minister and I'll fix it. So there's lots of things. Sorry, I was on my high horse then, wasn't I? Sylvia has container gardens. You know, lots of things grow better in containers. Annabelle posted on her blog a couple of weeks ago that she's finding containers are working better for some things than garden beds, which, you know, so see, I've got all our fruit trees in pots. None of them are in the ground. They're all in pots. So much easier for me to look after them. They don't get so big that I can't get the fruit. They all produce full-size fruits. Easier for me to treat them for bugs and stuff. No, all our fruit trees are in pots. All right. Okey-dokey. Alrighty, guys. Oh, I've gone over time and I was going to make this haybox cooking. Okay, haybox cooking is when you take a big box. You cook your food, put it into something that will hold the heat. So thermos works well, but a good quality Pyrex will hold the heat, holds the heat. Put that in the box. You fill it with insulation around it, put the lid on and leave it. Now, you can buy similar things. You've all heard of dream pots. If you haven't, look it up. That's a version of haybox cooking, a very expensive version of haybox cooking, but a version of it. Tupperware used to have a square container that had a strainer insert. Same deal. You could use it for haybox cooking. It worked the same way. That was 30, 40 years ago. Mine's very old. It's yellow. That was the colour. It's not yellowed with age. That was the colour it was. I've forgotten what it was called. That's a version of haybox cooking. Every now and then Aldi will have their version of the Dream Pot on sale. They work really well. They work really, really well. But you do need to bring everything to the boil or to temperature on the stove so that it starts off hot. Now, there are, or there have been in the past, concerns with the amount of time it takes to cook something in a haybox cooker and bacteria and whatever. But then we get those concerns every now and then with slow cookers too. So that's haybox cooking in a nutshell. It was literally a box full of hay and you put your pot in and buried it with more hay and left it for 8 or 9 hours to cook. I've done apple pies and peach pies in the electric fry pan, Delaney. Okay. Oh. All right. Okay. All right. Yeah, Aldi have Dream Pots, similar types of thing. Their own version. I don't know what it's called, but similar. Shopping is just not fun. We really struggled with this one during the pandemic because Wayne's parents were in Sydney and his mother was dying. And I was looking for ways to get into New South Wales any way I could. I just swum the Murray. I don't know, but we were desperate to get into New South Wales to get to his mum. It is just ridiculous. I'd say criminal, but I'll get booted off anyway. I haven't heard that, Bob Star, but I will have a look into it and see what I can find. There are already quite a few restrictions on home gardeners. They just haven't been enacted. So even down to seed saving. So we can grow our own tomatoes, but it is technically illegal for us to save the seed from those tomatoes. It's not going to stop me, shall I say? No, I don't really like to rock the boat, but it's not going to stop me. So there. All right. Okay. All right, guys. Karen says, when we had to retire due to medical issues, my pantry was a lifesaver. So you've lived it too. You know how valuable a pantry is. It's the best investment you can make, and you'll get the best return on your investment. Okay. All right, guys. It's time to go. And there's still more comments coming in. I wish I could stay, but Amy, what size pots do I use? They're about 60 centimeters across and about 45 centimeters deep. The one thing I can tell you is start off with good soil, good quality soil. And there's a difference between soil and dirt, folks. Dirt is dead. Soil is a living organism, and you need soil for anything to grow. So start off with good soil. You can do your own mix by all means, but just make sure it is really good quality. Don't buy the cheap $5 a bag potting mixes or anything like that. It is worth the effort to wait a little while, work a little harder, save a little more, and buy the better quality for your fruit trees. And then I do feed them every week. Wayne's granny, beautiful garden, and she fed it every week with worm tea or compost tea, or sometimes she'd use sea salt, but she fed. The whole garden got fed every week. So that's what I've been doing, and it pays off. It really does pay off. No, Joy, it wasn't the Piccadilly. That's the beetroot thing. It was the square yellow thing, had a white lid and the creamy white insert with the holes in the bottom, and I've forgotten what it's called. There was an ovally shaped one too. They were meant for serving, but they worked well for haybox cooking, because I used to do rice and pasta in them all the time. Okay. Alrighty. So, folks, thank you everyone for joining. Thumbs up, please. This giving us a thumbs up boosts my ego, of course, but it actually means that YouTube pops us up a bit higher in their rankings, makes it easier for other people to find us. And on that note, if you know someone that you think might like to listen to me waffle on, please use the share button. It'll send them a link, and that's all they'll get from us. We don't hound them. And it's up to them then if they watch. It's up to them if they subscribe. If you're not subscribed, please do. Delaney, yes, I feel like I've run a marathon. Actually, I've been not so well the last few days, guys, and so I wasn't sure I was going to make it tonight. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me. I will see you next week. Have fun with the pantry challenge. If you've got anything else, pop it in the comments below and I will do my best to get back to you, but it won't be till tomorrow. I'm about to conk out. Okay. Have a great week, everyone, and good night. Okay.